Hey everyone, welcome back to LearnWeb Academy. In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most powerful layout systems in Elementor, Flexbox and Grid Containers. These two features completely change how you build modern and responsive layouts. Mostly beginners rely on sections and columns, but Flexbox and Grid give you advanced control over alignment, spacing, responsiveness, and layout structure. After this video, your design skill will level up instantly. What are Flexbox and Grid? Flexbox, used for one-dimensional layouts, works in row or column, great for aligning and spacing items. Examples are centering elements, horizontal layouts, vertical stacking, equal spacing. Grid, used for two-dimensional layouts, rows and columns, perfect for complex layouts like galleries and product carts. Examples are 3x3 grid, masonry style layout, responsive image gallery. Elementor supports both, and today we will explore how to use them correctly. Flexbox container in Elementor. Elementor recently introduced container-based layout. Creating a Flexbox container. Let's choose a Flexbox and then this. This is our Flexbox container. Now we have option to choose for row and column. And you can also do that row reversed or column reversed. You can easily drag widgets inside this. For example, if I want to add heading here, we can do that. Or maybe if you want to add an image, you can do that too. Now since this is our column reversed, that's why the elements are reversed. If you want to re-reverse it, so you can just do this. In Flexbox, since we have these options, the row and column, so if we choose this row horizontal, so this will be like this, and if we choose row reverse, so this will be like this. Now we have option to justify content, like this is for aligning the content on our site, to justify content and align items. So maybe if you want to, let's go for the row horizontal for now, and let's just click on this center and this align center. Now our content is on the center. For example, if you want to change the height, the size of this image, we can also do that. Maybe see if we have any image for here. For this section, let's choose this image for now. We can align it to start, center, or at the end. Note that it is also taking this empty space for the image, but our image is not that long. So this is taking 48% as the width. We will choose it as 100%. So now our image got larger, hence we have the full width of the image. And if you want to do this on center, we can do that. And for example, if we want to add a background, maybe let's add a background of red and increase the opacity, and from this section you can choose any font that you like and change the color of your font. We also have an option to give gap between the elements, so maybe let's choose 50. As you can see, we have the gap, but to get it visible, we are choosing 200 and then 2000. So as you can see, this is creating the gap between these two elements, the heading and the image. If we decrease it to 0, as you can see that we don't have any gap anymore here. Let's choose 50 for now. Let us dive deeper into Flexbox so that you can understand what really this is. Let's go with this and give this a background of maybe blue, and then the opacity. Now we'll create few more containers into this. Let's give this width of 25%, and then we will give this a color so that you can differentiate it properly. Maybe let's give this white, and then we will just duplicate this. As you can see that by default it is taking the column vertical direction. Now if you want to do this row wise, so this is the row, and the same goes with row reversed and the column reversed. But most of the time we won't be using these two, we will only use the row or column. For example, if you want to give 0 gaps between these boxes, so we can just enter 0 here. Or if you want to give this some more gaps, so we can increase that too. Now let's choose this option of column vertical, and then let me also change this to 50 or maybe 20. Now we will see how to center this. We will use this align items to center this. And since we are doing for the vertical part, we don't have to do this justify content, because this is for x-axis. If you would be doing for row, then you could use this. I will also show you how to do this row option. Okay, so let's row, and then increase its height so that you won't be able to, you can differentiate the issue. Okay, now let me increase its height, and maybe delete one element from here. Now we will see this. Currently it is at start. Now if you want to do this on center, we can do this from here, and at the end we will use this. Now if we want to give space between these three elements, but we don't want to give the space on the end parts, I mean the start and the end parts of this, so we will use this space between option. So this is only giving us space in the between of the elements. And if you want to give some space on this start and on the end, so we will use space around. And if you want to give the equal spaces between all three elements, we can use space evenly. Now we can see that the space between these and these and these, we have 4 equal spaces between these 3 elements. This is how Flexbox helps you build perfectly responsive layouts. Grid container in Elementor. The grid container allows you to build 2-dimensional layouts easily. Why use grid? Perfect for galleries, equal sized boxes, card layouts, masonry style sections, complex multi-row designs. Let's choose a container here. Give this a background of red maybe. Or maybe change the color to something like green. We have the layout option here. We can choose for grid. And as you can see, some of the empty options are available here. These are columns and rows. Note that what you see horizontally are rows and vertically are columns. For example, this is the column here. You can increase the column and you can increase the rows here. Let's go for now 3 by 3 column and rows. Now you have option to put any of these elements on these columns and rows. For example, I am choosing this image for this section, and then maybe some text here, and then maybe video over here, and then maybe button, and then a Google Maps, and then maybe an icon over here, and just fill this up so that we can work on further steps. Alright, so as you can see that our this layout is filled with all the elements that we have. So now we will see the columns and rows here. If we want to decrease the column, it will so this is our layout. We can also put gap as we have done on our Flexbox. So let's just put this gap of maybe 50. And then we have all the styling options that you can use to style your layout. And this is what grid layout is. Flexbox versus grid, simple comparison. So you can pause this screen to learn and observe about Flexbox and grid layouts. When to use Flexbox? Flexboxes are generally used for header menus, hero sections, text and image rows, buttons, icons. When to use grid? Grids are generally used for galleries, product grids, pricing tables, multi-row layouts, responsive behavior. Now let's learn about responsive behavior. Let's take a layout of Flexbox and then choose this direction and choose this header option and image. Maybe let's do some styling over here. Let's choose this black color and put an image over here, and maybe give this background a color. Okay, now maybe if we want to do the center alignment, so we can also do that here, or maybe for now let's do it row and content. Now we will see these three device options. This is the desktop, this is for tablet, and this is for mobile. If we'll go tablet portrait, so you can see the difference, and if you'll go on the mobile portrait, you can see this. As you can see, this is automatically taking into row. This is by default by Elementor, but in CSS you will not be able to do that. Okay, so from here you can change the styling of this, but in some case if it does not change the direction by automatically, so you can use this option to change the alignments. This is getting wrapped, so if you don't want this to get wrapped, so you can choose this wrap option and click on no wrap. But if you will click on this wrap button, so you will get that automatically wrapped. So this is how you change layout in Flexbox on different devices. Now let's go for grid. Let's choose this option, grid, and maybe let's change the background for now. So by default it is having this columns of 2 and row of 1. So if we need column of 3, so that we can do, and this row of 1, but for now let's only go for row of 1 and choose this option of image. So we have 3 images over here. Now let's choose the tab device resolution. Let's go for tablet, and since we won't be able to see it properly, so we may go for a column of maybe 2 and then the row of 2. And in mobile, if it is getting harder, so you can go for a column of 1 or maybe 2 or 3, however you like. These tools help you build clean and professional layouts that work on every device. Common mistakes to avoid: using too many intersections. Switch to containers. Forcing alignment with padding instead of flex controls. Using column layout for complex multi-row designs. Not adjusting direction on mobile view. Overlapping flex and grid without structure. Summary. Remember, Flexbox is simple, flexible, and one-directional layout. Grid is powerful, structured, multi-direction layouts. Use them correctly and your Elementor designs will look modern and pro-responsive. And that's how Flexbox and Grid work in Elementor. In the next video, we will dive deeper into Elementor, so make sure you subscribe to LearnWeb Academy and hit that bell icon. See you in the next tutorial.